be it resolved.
And welcome to Be It Resolved, your weekly debate podcast. We choose high interest topics, sometimes serious ones and sometimes not, and we go at them with conviction from opposing sides. You'll be informed and you'll be entertained. Today's topic is Be It Resolved that professional athletes have a moral duty to engage in social justice issues. My name is Andrew Oates, and joining me today are Andrew Wood, Mario Kyriakides, Al Brown, and Sarab Sandhu. Welcome, all of you, and welcome to our viewers. Before we begin, a few words about our debate format. Each debater will be given 3 minutes to present his constructive arguments, after which I will join in with them for an open 10-minute round robin. The debate will conclude with 1 minute summation from each of the participants, after which I will offer my comments and declare a winner. A reminder that the views expressed about by the debaters are for the purpose of winning the debate only and do not necessarily represent their personal opinions. The resolution once again. Be it resolved that professional athletes have a moral duty to engage in social justice issues. Arguing for this will be Andrew Wood and Mario Kyriakides, and arguing against it will be Al Brown and Sarab Sandhu. Remember, gentlemen, no hitting below the belt, no high sticking, and may the best team win. Let's begin our debate with Andrew Wood. You have 3 minutes, Andrew, starting now.
Okay, no high sticking. I guess cross-checking is still okay, right? And hitting them into the boards, I guess that's okay? Oh, well, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Well, professional athletes have a moral duty to speak out on social justice issues. Well, we'd better start by defining our terms here. We're talking about professional athletes. We're talking about the ones playing in the prominent sports, the basketball and the football and hockey and baseball, tennis, that kind of thing, of athletes who have an international profile. So that's what we're talking about here. And we're talking about some of those athletes, really. We're talking about the ones with reach and the ones with audience. And that's not all of them. That's not all of them. There's 40 men on a professional football team. Well, we're not talking about all 40 of those men. We're talking about the ones who have the prominence, such as the quarterback, for example. Colin Kaepernick. Do I need to remind you of that name? There's a person who spoke out on social justice issues, took a lot of heat for it. It affected his career. It effectively ended his career. And now it's a few years later. And we can see with the benefit of hindsight that that stand that he took, that principled stand that he took, has served him very well and has served society very well. We're ahead on that conversation because that man had the courage to speak out. So that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about men like LeBron James. And I'll just share my screen with you very quickly here. This is LeBron James last year, at the end of the year, speaking out about the Breonna Taylor thing. And he gave his comment and he said, you know what? Those 3 policemen who killed her were declared, they couldn't be prosecuted. They were free of prosecution. He stated an opinion. And his opinion counts. That man has 47 million followers on social media. Most countries of the world don't have 47 million people living in them. He's got a voice. He's got a powerful voice. And it's kids who are listening to him very much. the citizens of tomorrow. Now, LeBron James recognizes his duty and his responsibility to speak out, and he acts on it. He doesn't act indiscriminately. He's not twittering
10
every
seconds.
2 times a day, but he's got something to say, and the kids of the world are listening, and that's important.
Thank you, Andrew. And now, Al Brown, you have 3 minutes for the con side.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. I must initially object to what Andrew Wood has said about restricting the number of people, number of professional athletes who can speak out on issues. There's far more than those, and even the minor ones do have their followings. Professional athletes today have a special place in our society, all of them. They're paid lots of money, even the minor, even the most minor of the players are paid lots of money. And they are often they're the representation of society, the best. They get fame, they get fortune, they have fan clubs, and in some cases, they are the center of national pride. So they're all really involved in this issue of moral justice issues or social justice issues. Now, there's a problem with most of them. Now, in my readings on professional athletes, I discovered that most of them don't even finish college. I mean, about maybe 21% of them get a college education. The rest go into sports after high school. And in their last years of high school and probably all of their time in college, they're focused almost exclusively on perfecting their skills so that they can be selected for the premier leagues. In consequence of this, in terms of their education, well, everybody can tell, I can tell you what a high school education is worth nowadays. Bugger all. You don't get an education there. So you're getting people here in professional sports that are highly focused on one specific sport and nothing else, with the education of a teenager going out and be giving vast amounts of money, fan clubs, fame and adulation, the opportunity to kiss the Loving Cup, the Stanley Cup, the Super Bowl trophy, and all the other things. And they're supposed to speak out on social issues that they probably can't understand. This group is very susceptible, regardless who it is, to manipulation.
Thank you, Al. And now for the pro side, to Mario Kyriakides. You have 3 minutes, Mario.
Well, thank you very much, Andrew Oates, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it's 2021. And you would think by now that we would not have the reason to be discussing this. But unfortunately, it shows how little we've grown as a human race in general. Because if we still have to sit here and discuss whether our athletes can take a knee to fight social injustice, to take a knee to fight racism, to bring a point that there are human beings out there that are being used in many ways or abused in many ways. That alone is at the very least bad. At the worst, it is totally it's just absolutely terrible. And one of the things that was just recently happened during the Euro Cup was the final between Italy and England, and it came to penalty shots. And one of the players by the name of Saka, who stepped up to take the last penalty shot for England, he missed the shot. Now, he was one of the players that at the beginning of the game took a knee to talk about racism, to bring the point, something that they usually do in UEFA Cup, in World Cup, people take knees to talk about racism. I remember this as a kid. playing soccer in Greece. And yet, this guy, 19-year-old guy, missed the penalty. And the next day in the media and in public and social media, he was barraged by hate, by calling him the N-word, by racism. Now, if anybody's ever played soccer and took a penalty shot, I can tell you it is probably the most toughest and bravest thing that somebody can do, because the onus is on you. And yet he did it. And a little boy by the name of Charlie Taylor, age of 9, stepped up during that because he followed him, he admired him. He stepped up and wrote him a letter telling him that he admires him, that he follows him, that he is a brave man. Now you tell me that little boy is being affected by this player who took a knee and then took the abuse. He took the abuse because he missed a penalty shot. Yes, England lost, but hey, you know, life is full of winning and losing. Sometimes it doesn't roll your way. But ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of social issues that we are all talking about here. We're talking not only about
10
racism,
seconds.
but equality of opportunity. We're talking about ageism, sexuality. We're talking about child welfare for that little boy so you can grow up to be in a good community.
Thank you, Mario. And now, Sarab, you have 3 minutes for your comments.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, and all the listeners and my fellow opponents. Now, the professional athletes should be allowed to comment on social issues. It depends on who are the listeners and who are the givers of advice. The society needs to propagate some message, and definitely we can use professional athletes, but they're not trained to do so. They can either go on either side and even spoil the situation. They may, because as we said, the education of these professional athletes is not to the level where they are like engineers or doctors, or they can give meaningful information to the people. They are, after all, sports people. They're best at that, and they should just stick to that. They have a fan following, no doubt, because of their professional skills and how they behave on the field and how they're doing their numbers and all that. But that is all what it is. If you ask them to start doing social stuff, they're not trained. It's like asking an untrained teacher to teach French, to the students. Mr. Wood will understand that. It will not be possible. And here also, there's substandard information going there. It could go in the wrong way. So I think they should stick to only playing on the field and do what they're best. They're getting paid for it, instead of dabbling in changing the mindset of people around them, maybe in a good way, but mostly in a bad way, which they don't understand. So with that, I would say professional athletes should stick to playing and not get involved with social justice, because they're not trained to do so. Back to you.
Thank you, Sarab. And now we'll start our 10-minute discussion, or round robin.
Okay.
I'd like to ask a question to any one of the debaters. Don't you think it's more powerful if only a few athletes comment on social issues, rather than having many professional athletes commenting on all kinds of different
Well,
issues?
sure, but Andrew, that's what we're arguing. We're not.
No,
arguing.
we're not.
Every single athlete has a duty to speak out. That's not the problem. No, that's not what we want to accomplish here. What we want to
I'm
accomplish.
sorry, Andrew, I object to that. You are putting too
You know
fine
what?
a definition on the issue.
You know
You're
what?
defining
You can do
the
that, Al.
resolution.
You can do that, Al.
Every-
But you can do that, Al. But if you do that, you're trivializing this debate, because the
No, we're
essence
not.
of the question is whether people with celebrity, specifically athletes with celebrity, and we're talking about
No, it isn't.
prominent athletes,
No, it's
and
Guys,
whether
guys,
athletes with celebrity should be using their platform, which they have with tens of millions of followers.
Just,
order to
just,
prevent
just as a reminder, the
the,
resolution
social
is professional athletes have a moral
Right.
duty.
Of
Now
course
let me
they
let me,
do.
let me let me
All
step,
professional athletes.
let me step in here, okay, and basically say that that is the probably the most minor aspect of this conversation.
That's what I'm saying.
Because the bottom line is this, that even minor athletes, and I'll give that to Al Brown, because it's so
Whatever.
minor, Andrew, that it really doesn't matter in the debate. Because some on their lower scale of professional athletes that are starting to develop may
Sure.
develop down the line a platform that is as big as the professionals. So
That's right.
issue where they're really sticking on, Andrew Wood, is they are sticking on the educational aspect of these people. They call them uneducated. They call them that they haven't finished high school and or went to college or whatever, and they don't have the right to be able to discuss things that are of social issues. Come on, guys, really? We're going to be sitting here talking to bullshit?
Mario, we're not.
Al Brown, let me finish
Mario,
here.
Let him finish. Let him
Richard
finish.
Branson. He's not a professional athlete, but he's a man of influence. He didn't even finish high school, and he went into space on his own company. Guys, that argument is bull.
sorry,
It doesn't
I
stand. It
didn't
has
hear
no
that
legs.
name. Who are you talking about there?
Richard Branson. He's not an
Yeah.
athlete, but he is a guy that didn't finish high school. He
Well,
dropped
look,
out.
He's
That-
an entrepreneur. We're not talking about professional.
No, but he's making a point there. He's making a point
Well, the
that
points are
education is
relevant.
not the thing.
The point is very relevant to your
Talking
point
about
of them
professional
not having an
athletes,
education.
Mario.
You're saying that they
Mario,
don't have an
we're talking
education.
about
They don't have
professional
the right?
athletes.
I think
Mario, we're
we are.
talking about professional athletes.
No, his point
entrepreneurs.
is transferable. His point is
No,
transferable.
it's not.
I think we are
And
blurring the line
what you're
between
saying there,
moral
Al,
duty.
no. These people are not stupid. There is nobody here who is stupid. You
Okay,
do not
okay, thank
get
you,
to the
thank you.
pinnacle of professional sports if you are stupid.
We've beat
Andrew,
that one
I'm
to
not
death.
saying that they're stupid. I'm saying that their intellect is immature.
Well,
Is it really? You go talk to Michael Jordan about that, who has
Where-
companies after companies after companies. You go talk to Magic Johnson. You know, these people are not only athletes, they've become entrepreneurs, they've become
It's
investors.
what?
pointless.
We
It's
are
pointless
blurring
to
the line
argue.
between the
Mario,
resolution,
Magic
which
It's
is
pointless to
Michael
argue
Jordan no
that the
longer in the
28th
sports.
man on a 30-man roster is the person we should be listening to. That is
No.
hardly the point. The point
No.
is that there are
All professional athletes are covered by this, and you guys seem to want to focus on too tight the issue. The point of the matter is we all have an obligation to speak out on social
Well, we
justice
do.
issues. And
We do.
professional athletes have that ability too. But
Correct. So thank you.
they do not
do
have the
ability.
maturity to speak on anything other than their own profession.
That's
wouldn't
not
speak
true.
about medicine. I'm an engineer. I'll speak on that, but I won't speak about medicine or law.
So let me ask you something. Colin Kaepernick is black. Does he have the right to speak about being black in America?
I believe he
who's he?
does.
we're
Why is that an issue?
we are confusing
That's
the
a social
issue
issue,
here
guys.
between
What's the
having the
problem?
right to do
That's
something
not a
and
confusion
having
of
the
the
moral
issue.
duty
That's
to do something.
perfectly what we're
Social
talking
issue.
about here. They have expertise on this. Of course,
He's
they
lived
have
as a black
expertise.
man all his life. He's seeing the injustices that go there. Black
He's
Lives
lived
Matter
the
is
injustices.
Gentlemen,
out of that.
if you are
that
a
culture that
If
they're-
you are a professional athlete, you are in an inordinate position to influence others for good or bad. And the thing is that most of them do not know the difference. They are no better than somebody watching Facebook and seeing a bunch of lies on it and taking that as a social cause. They
Well,
are
you know
susceptible
what? There,
to
Al,
influence
that's not what's
by
happening. That's
So
not
Al,
what we're
Al
talking
Brown,
about.
you're an engineer. What gives you the right to speak on this topic right now that we're debating? If that's the blinders that you want to put on them, what gives you the right to speak about this? You're an
What
engineer.
gives
Speak
you
on
the
your own
right to
topic.
speak on this issue? Mario, what gives you the right to speak on this issue? If I don't have a
As
right,
I'm
neither
saying.
do you.
As I'm saying,
But,
they have
folks,
the right
the
to
resolution
discuss
isn't whether
social
they have
issues.
to speak, it's whether they have a moral duty to speak.
Right, and they do have a moral duty to speak because they are influencers out there. And talking about how Michael Jordan, our past history. Come on, guys, really? You mean they still don't have a? He's known as the greatest basketball player of all time, and he still does. We're gonna just sideline him
So
because
we're
he's
saying
not
that
playing ball
the
anymore.
media has a moral duty to cover and publicize whatever these people say.
He's an icon.
Say that again, Andrew Oates.
Are we also saying that the media has a moral duty to publicize and spread whatever these people say?
No,
Well,
the
they're going to
media
do it,
has
aren't
the
they?
right to pick what they want to pick and make it to make it known or not. If the platform has legs, the media will pick it up,
Of course.
and
they
that is perfectly okay. That's part of a free society.
Yeah. Look,
Professional
we got to get back
athletes
to reality here.
Not
When-
have the right, do not have the right to say anything they want. They have to
Yes,
conform.
we're
to
not
something.
saying that they have the right to say whatever they want.
Well, that's what's happening. Nobody
That-
controls or restricts what they say. They could be saying garbage, or they could be saying something.
Right,
that's
of
important.
course they could. And the stuff that counts will count. The stuff that they're saying that advances the conversation, that gives people courage, that gives them hope, that's what gives them hope. And you don't think LeBron James, with his 47 million followers, is helping them. He's giving them his voice, and that makes their own voices stronger and gives them hope and courage. And that's what we're saying is that
Or it
these
might,
professional athletes-
his voice may convince them to go out and do socially unacceptable acts like riot.
You're
and
not
burn.
listening to his
Now,
message.
now you're going off out to Mars with this argument.
No.
You are
What did
stepping-
Donald Trump do? What did Donald Trump do? He's not an athlete, but he influenced people with his thoughts. And maybe he's exactly acting like a.
Is Donald Trump a social activist that is talking about moral justice issues?
No.
Like social justice issues? He's talking about his ego. He's talking about he is the professional president of the United States. He's talking about he's a winner when he's a loser. Come on, folks. I mean, let's not bring in garbage now, because you know what? When we bring Trump in this conversation, that's where we're going to.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mario, I will come to the point for me. To me, professional athletes should be ambassadors for good and peace. They should be like royalty, because that's what they are. In other words, you don't hear royalty going around and slamming other groups. They're always going around accepting flowers from little kiddies, revealing plaques, saying nice things all the time. And that is the limit to what
so they do
professional
nothing?
athletes should do.
You see
Because
that
anything from that they could incite the bad elements of our society. They have that power, and they need to control it.
right.
Power can be used for good or evil, and they are in that position.
They need
must
to use it for
control
good.
themselves.
That's our point.
But
is that they
Andrew,
need-
what he's
And
doing is
evil, Andrew.
equivalency there. If you notice, he's pulling a false equivalency. He's saying that royalty through privilege of birth is the same as an athlete who's worked his ass off and her ass off to get where they are, train, 10, 12
No.
hours a day, and
It's the
they
position that matters, not how you.
Okay, folks, we're going to have to stop it there because that's our 10 minutes used up. So let's now move into the summations, beginning with Al Brown. 1 minute for the rebuttal.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned in the open discourse, professional athletes are a lot like royalty. They didn't get there by birth, they got there by hard work. But they enjoy a status in society that makes them their highest and best use as ambassadors of peace and goodwill. They must restrict their activities in this regard, because their activities could lead to bad outcomes, just as anyone's, and they have limitations on them. We all professionals in the world today live by a set of code of ethics, and professional athletes need one as well, particularly when it comes to speaking out. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Al. And now to Andrew Wood. You have 1 minute.
No, not me. Mario's got to go. Mario?
Okay. Uh, Let me just say that Al Brown just basically made our case for us. He said that they do have the duty to speak on social issues of peace, goodwill. And that's exactly what the argument is, right? It's the moral duty. It's the moral duty. It's not the immoral duty, it's the moral duty. So, yeah, you can mouth no, but that's exactly what you said. Making a false equivalency with royalty, again, I've talked about that, so I'm not going to go in there. It's a false equivalency, and it's disingenuous to use that kind of equivalency. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to conclude with this. From that little boy, Charlie Taylor, who admires a black player who went out there bravely to fight for his country on the playing field and to represent his country, to represent the ethos of sport and growth and achievement. That man, Saka, and every black player, every player that is LGBT,
Thank you, Mario.
has the right to do so.
And now I guess it's Sarab. Your 1 minute starts now.
Mr. Moderator and your opponents, I want to reiterate once again, that the professional athletes have large followings nowadays, the social following, and they don't know much about social issues. And if they do that, they may be doing more harm than good. And they can be used if they're handled properly by other people who want to change people's mindsets. But having their own ideas, they should refrain from doing that and just stick to playing. And that's what they've been paid for, rather than giving opinions on society and influencing people in the direction they want, which will cause a social unrest of some kind, because they're not trained to do that. So having said that, I would say that they have a moral duty to do that, but they should be trained for that.
Thank you, Sarab. And now over to you, Andrew Wood.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Well, you know what? I reject categorically Sarab's characterization of professional athletes as being untrained, uneducated, unable, and improper, basically, to speak out against social justice issues. You know what? No. Now, they're intelligent people. There are thousands upon thousands of highly paid professional athletes all over the world in a great variety of sports. Do we expect that all of these players will be speaking out on social justice issues? Are we saying that every single one of them, it is their duty and part of their contract to speak out about these? No, that's what I mean, that's not going to happen. But what is going to happen, and what is happening, is that that athletes with a strong point of view are able to share their opinions with others and influence the world for good.
That's your 1 minute.
That's what we're talking about.
Gentlemen, I have to leave. I'm going to have to wait and hear who Andrew Oates is going to choose as the winner. Andrew, you know who has the right side.
Mario.
Anyway, guys, I will see you guys later. Thank you very much, everybody, for the debate. I have to run. Sorry about that.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, Mario.
So having concluded the debate, it's always interesting that people are trying to change the resolution all through the debate, right up to the end. The resolution was not, should professional athletes be allowed to engage in social justice issues? The resolution was, should they have a moral duty to participate? And I'm not sure that that was argued convincingly that they should. If they do have an inkling to do that, and if they do have the wherewithal to make the media cover them, nobody said that that would be a problem for anybody. But the resolution that they have a moral duty to do so has not, in my opinion, been sufficiently proven. So the winners of this debate, in my opinion, are the con side. They do not have an obligation. Thank you all for our debate, and especially to our viewers, be sure to join us next time when we will debate the resolution, be it resolved that everyone should learn to speak a second language,
Second language.
not necessarily foreign.
Hmm. That's a good one. That'll be fun.
Goodbye until then.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you for listening. Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening, and please subscribe so you do not miss another episode. Thank you.